Hey yogis, welcome back to Sacred Lotus Yoga. I'm Sarah, and for today's class we're going to unwind with some gentle Yin style yoga. So if you've had a stressful day or a restless night's sleep, this class will help to bring you back to a place of clarity and stillness. So we're going to start out today in a wall-legged child's pose. So make your way over, bring your big toes to touch, your knees as comfortably wide as you can, and begin to send your hips back towards your heels and stretch your arms out in front of you. Begin to melt your forehead and your chest down towards the mat, softening down. Beginning to soften your hips towards the heels and your forehead towards the mat, and just allow everything to become soft, and begin to focus your full awareness on your breath. So with these Yin style poses, we tend to hold them for a few minutes longer than normal poses, and we hold them quite passively. So not holding stress in the muscles. So we're softening with each breath, going deeper into the pose. And beginning to send your breath down to the spine, into the hips. And with each exhale, release and deepen into the pose. So imagining with each inhale, you're breathing in fresh, clean air into the body, and you're exhaling hot, old, stale air, releasing any stress, letting go of whatever doesn't serve you. And with each breath, the body releases, relaxes a little bit deeper. Softening the muscles in your face, in your shoulders. Just holding for 3 more breaths. Inhaling fully and exhale fully. Inhale and exhale. Last breath. Inhale fully and exhale. Gently come out of the pose, coming straight up to tabletop. Just move through just a few cat-cow. Inhale, drop the belly, open the chest forward. And exhale, around the spine, tucking the tailbone under, drop the gaze. Inhaling back, through cow. And exhale as we come through to cat. Just come back to sitting on your heel. Bring your knees together. You want to come into a toe stretch from here. So you want to come up onto our toes. We'll start out nice slowly, nice and gently. So make sure all toes are tucked under, including the little baby toe. Plant the hands onto the mat. Just take a moment to notice how this feels. Just staying as we are with the hands planted. And just take a few breaths. Just allow the muscles to soften. And just fully noticing where the body is. And then either staying here if your toes feel quite tight. If you feel you can take it deeper, you can begin to walk the hands up, just planting them to the tops of the legs. Drop the shoulder blades and close the eyes. And just bring the awareness back to your breath. I'll be here for a few breaths, so find a place that you can hold comfortably. As we hold these poses a few minutes longer than normal poses, we want to make sure we haven't gone to our max, that we're not at 100%. Try back off. When you go to about 70, just let the body release in its own time. Letting the muscles soften as we work deeper into our connective tissues, into the fascia. Keeping the awareness on the breath will hold you in the pose longer. So notice each inhale and each exhale. It's full body awareness. We're noticing what's going on in our feet, in our legs. And trying not to distract ourselves with any negative thoughts or many plans, any to-do lists. Try and keep your awareness on the pose, on the sensations, on your breath. We'll stay for 5 more breaths. Keep the breath soft and steady. And when you're ready, I'm going to gently come out of the pose. Walk the hands further away from the body. Bring yourself off. Just going to tap out the tops of the toes, just to get the blood flowing back through the body. And from here, I'm going to walk the knees back in line under the hips. Bring me down into puppy pose from here. I'm going to walk the hands out in front of you, keeping the knees in line under the hips. Walk the hands out and begin to sink the chest and the forearms down towards the mat. And you rest the forehead down as well. So we're keeping the hips high up in the air. We're just resting forehead or arms down. Just finding a nice stretch through the arms. A nice stretch through the front of the body as we lengthen through the spine and find space in our hips. Melting a little bit further with each exhale. Releasing the body, letting everything go. Just knowing you've nothing else to do here other than be present with your breath and with the sensations. Just staying for 3 more deep breaths. And gently begin to lift the head off the mat, look towards the top of the mat, and walk the hands back in towards the body. And just flow through another cat-cow, just once again to bring some movement back into the body. And then come back to sitting on your mat. So you're going to extend the right leg over towards the right and tuck the left foot in towards the body. We're going to sit up nice and tall. Begin to lengthen through the spine and begin to twist and look over towards the right foot. So flex the right foot so you're peeling your toes back towards the face as you just twist and lengthen through the spine. Find the length first through the body. Then you can rest our right elbow down onto the right leg and rest your head in your hand. Or if you feel you want to take it deeper, you can rest your forearm down onto the mat. If you have the space, if you can go that little bit deeper. Again, only go to about 70%. So back off, stay out of the pose a little bit. Allow the connective tissues, the fascia, to lengthen in their own time. So rest your head down onto your hand wherever you are. Begin to extend through the left fingertips. And just rest that hand towards the back of the head. It's not resting on the head, just towards the back. Just getting a nice opening to the left side of the body. Wherever you are. Just begin to soften down. Beginning to notice the weight of the left leg as it really melts and roots deep into the mat. As we hold these poses, you'll notice that even within the couple of minutes we hold them for, that the body, as it begins to soften, it begins to lengthen, finding flexibility. And just notice what you notice. As the body begins to unwind, and you can take the pose a little bit deeper. Or maybe even just softening slightly. You feel a little bit more ease and comfort in the pose. And gently begin to look down towards the right leg. Begin to press into the hand or bring the head back up to center. And release the hands down. Take a moment to allow the spine to realign. Bring the feet out in front of you and just drop them side to side. Drop the knees one side to the next. Just allow everything to settle back in. Notice how one side of the body feels from the next. And then when you're ready, move over towards the left side. So extend the left leg out to the side and hug the right foot in towards that left leg. And go to the same as you did on the last side. So you can rest down onto the elbow, resting the head on the hand, maybe planting the hand down onto the mat. And when you're ready, Begin to reach the right hand up and overhead, locking, bringing the gaze towards the ceiling to open the chest, and then gently close the eyes, bringing the awareness into the body. And soften any parts of the body that you don't need to use. And soften the forehead, the jaw, allow the legs to be soft. And with each exhale, sink a little bit deeper, melt further into the pose. Noticing how the body is unwinding, noticing even just the slightest, the smallest of change in the body, that shift. And gently coming back out of the pose, release the top arm, coming back up to center. Take a moment, realign the spine, bring yourself back up, walk the feet out in front of you, hands behind, and just drop the knees side to side. So we're going to come over into Baddha Konasana, into butterfly pose from here. So bring your feet out in front of you. The soles of your feet are touching. Take a moment to sit nice and tall. Just play around with the legs and notice where you want to go. So it's quite nice to keep the feet a good distance away from the body here. We're not worried about keeping them tight and lengthening to the spine. We're going to work on softly building flexibility as we try and relax and unwind into the pose. So the feet are a nice distance away. Sit nice and tall to begin with. Close the eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale, begin to fold forward, hinging from the hips. Allow the upper body to melt. Allow the spine to round. Drop the gaze, drop the head. Rest the hands wherever they come. So maybe they're just holding onto the feet. They're resting either side, palms facing up. And just soften down. Again, back off in the pose. Go to about 70%. Allow the body to unwind. Allow gravity to do its job. We don't need to pull ourselves into any of these poses. We're listening to our body. We're allowing everything to naturally unwind. As we stay present, we notice any thoughts. We notice what's rising up. Just notice whatever this is. Allow it to float by without holding on. And know you can come back to it later. You don't need to hold on to any negative thoughts or any plans. You just want to be here with our body, noticing sensations, noticing how we feel. As you keep your awareness on the breath. In the inhale, you find more length through the body. In the exhale, you soften. Maybe you can sink a little bit deeper. It's going to be here for 3 more breaths. Just maybe see if you can go even deeper. Gently begin to unwind. We'll walk the hands back up to sitting nice and tall. Take a moment, realign. Gently blink the eyes open just to bring a soft gaze. And bring your legs back to center and just drop them side to side. Just bringing that movement back into the legs, back to the body. And from here, we're going to come into a forward fold with the legs extended. So you don't need to worry too much about the legs being flat onto the mat. You can keep as deep of a bend in the knees as you need to. We want to support the lower back. We don't want to do any damage. So you want to make sure that you're hinging from the hips, that you're coming forward and the pelvis is tilting you forward. If you feel like you're just crunching over, you could always sit on something that will just elevate the hips to allow you to fold a little bit deeper. So we want to keep a nice soft bend in the knees, even just to begin with. So bend the knees as much as you need to so you can take hold of the feet with your hands. So maybe you're deeply bent, doesn't worry at all. So take hold of the feet, rest your chest down onto the knees and just begin to soften. Drop the weight out of the head and soften down. And as we hold this pose, we begin to lengthen with the breath. And begin to extend through the legs as you fold deeper. So on the inhale, you find that length. On the exhale, you go a little bit deeper. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale as you soften and deepen. Stay for 5 more breaths. Soften the muscles. Relax the muscles in the forehead. Smooth the space in between your eyebrows. Release the jaw. And gently back up, sitting nice and tall. Just shake at the legs. Shaking at the feet before you come over onto our backs, making your way down. Gently lying down, hugging the knees into the belly. Rocking side to side. I'm going to come into a twist from here. So begin to bring your legs out in front of you. We're just going to drop the legs over towards the right. It's a couple of variations. You can either come into twisted roots, where we cross the right leg over the left, and then cross the right foot underneath. Now, if this is a little bit too tricky because we're going to come over onto the side, you can just keep the knees together and we'll fold over. So, doesn't matter which one you're taking. So if you're here, we're just going to gently fall over and extend the arms out. So the legs are over towards the right and the arms are extended. If you don't have too much room or too much space for the arms, you can always bend at the elbows and come into cactus arms. Or if you want to go into full twisted roots, you can cross the right leg over and cross the right foot under, and then begin to drop the legs over towards the right. So what we're working on here is we're working on opening the chest and dropping, relaxing the shoulders. It's a great pose for rinsing out the spine. Releasing the IT bend. And just bringing overall relaxation as you soften through the body. Working on grounding the shoulder down towards the mat. When you're here, you can always play around with the legs. If they feel too high, you can always drop the knees down. It can help just find more space in the shoulders. It's a great pose for the lower back, for the lumbar spine. As we hold these poses for a few moments, it's important to make sure that we're comfortably in the pose. So take your time getting into the pose, finding your edge where you need to be today. And once you're there, soften in, let go of everything, and just bring full awareness to your breath. I'm going to gently and softly unwind, bringing the knees back to center. Unwind the legs, sit with the legs crossed, and hug the knees back to center. And just rock the legs side to side. I'm going to take it to the next side. So if your legs were bent like this, you can just move back into the pose, gently extend the arms and drop the knees towards the left. Lay around the knees just to find your edge. Or if you're in full twisted roots, you cross the right leg over the left and twist the legs under. And just begin to drop the legs over towards the left. You can shift the hips just to find more space. And work on grounding the right shoulder down towards the mat. As we twist from the belly, we're releasing and letting go of everything that we don't need to hold on to. Soften the legs, relax the muscles. By relaxing the muscles, we're working deeper into our connective tissues. We're building that flexibility, building the support for the joints, for the muscles. And gently beginning to unwind out of the pose. Bring the knees back through center. Unwind the legs if they're crossed. And hug the knees into the belly. From here, I'm going to come into legs extended. So if you're close to a wall and you have the space, you're going to extend the legs up towards the ceiling. Otherwise, if you're like me, you don't have a wall to support, just extend the legs high. Just allow the legs just to root deeply down towards the hips. If you have a blanket, it might be nice, or a blanket or a pillow just to place under the hips. Don't worry if you don't. I'm just going to keep the legs extended. You can keep as deep of a bend in the knees. It really doesn't matter if you have straight legs or bent knees here. Extend the arms long. Allow the weight of the feet to begin to drop towards the legs. And the weight of the legs to drop towards the sockets, into the hips. And this is one of the most restorative, one of my favorite poses to help them relax. It just gives the heart a chance just not to do as much work. Just relaxing. Soften everything. Bring your awareness back to your breath. Find complete ease and relaxation. Letting every muscle soften. If you want to stay with the legs extended and you're beside a wall and it's comfortable, you absolutely can. Otherwise, we're just going to move into Shavasana, hugging the knees towards the chest, giving them a big squeeze into the belly. Just allow everything just to get soft. Drop the shoulders, drop the hips. And when you're ready, make your way into Shavasana. So walk the legs long away from the body. Take up as much space as you need, as much room. Arms are extended wide. And just soften down. Take one deep inhale. And exhale back through the nose. I encourage you to stay in your Shavasana or legs up the wall as long as you can. Get the full benefit of your Shavasana. Otherwise, thank you very much for joining me for today's class. I hope you feel a little bit more ready for the day ahead, ready for the night's sleep, a little bit more clarity and clear. If you enjoy my class, please remember to hit the like button. Consider subscribing. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Namaste.